Welcome to my live, beautiful life here. Yes. Okay. Let me fix this. I'm gonna listen to what the immigration lawyer have to say, and let me start back from the beginning. So this is, let me see the law firm, getting the green card. That's what the name of this. Assume it's a lawyer, and she's talking about immigration changes and protection from deportation. So let's have a listen, okay? Remember to like, share, and subscribe.
Hello, good night. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Thar. I'm here live to take your questions, also to continue to talk to you about solutions here. So nice to see you. So nice to end the night with you as usual. And I'm really working to come here on a daily basis to talk to you about immigration updates, answer questions, also focus on solutions. Hello there on Instagram. It's nice to see you. So that is what I'm doing. Amidst all the chaos, we're focusing on, because that is where you're going to get protection. And I do have excellent news. So today was a good day. We got a couple of approvals this week. We've gotten a T visa approval, and then we got two approvals today, as well as which are work permits and the travel documents. So that has been good to show you that there is business moving forward at the USCIS. So these forms of relief they have not stopped, right? Keep in mind that the way that what they're focusing on are individuals, hey there, are individuals who do not have options, legal options, right? And so they're focusing a lot of their attention right now on immigration enforcement, and it is getting a little scary. Now, I do anticipate that we'll be seeing changes throughout the year at the USCIS. But right now, a lot of the immigration updates are focused on immigration enforcement. That means detention and removal actions. Now, some of the scary things that have been announced is that now they're sending migrants to Guantanamo Bay. Now, Guantanamo Bay is a base in Cuba that has really been reserved for individuals who were labeled as terrorists and sent there to be interrogated, and it does have a bad reputation because there was a lot of torture that happened at Guantanamo Bay. Well, now they're focusing on building 10 camps to accommodate as many, hi there, Aisha, as many immigrants, as much as 30,000 immigrants at Guantanamo Bay. This has been challenged, and so a judge has put a temporary stop to sending 3 Venezuelan migrants that they wanted to send there to Guantanamo Bay. However, what's happening now is, at first, what they had said, which I don't even agree with anybody who said any immigrants being sent to Guantanamo Bay. However, what they initially announced was the worst of the worst will be sent there to Guantanamo Bay. This raises a lot of, first of all, due process, because contrary to what racist and anti-immigration individuals might be telling you, immigrants do have rights here. Even immigrants who don't have their papers, you have constitutional rights. And
I'm in
when you
Georgia,
are going through a process, when you're
Atlanta,
detained,
Georgia.
you have due process rights. So that means that while they don't have to give you an attorney like in criminal law, where they give anybody who's indigent, that means anybody who can't afford a lawyer, they're given a lawyer in criminal proceedings. But that's not the case with immigration. But they do have to give you the right to get an attorney. However, if individuals are in Guantanamo Bay, there's going to be no attorneys there to represent them. There's no due process. So those are the concerns that the judge raised. Is that they have to be very clear on how they to ensure access to attorneys and access to their due process rights. But this was only an injunction on or hold on the sending of the three Venezuelan immigrants to Guantanamo Bay. So the administration is still moving forward with sending immigrants to Guantanamo Bay, and it has just been exposed that it's not just the so-called worst of the worst, but these people who have no criminal records, who have been just detained, are being sent there. That's in every scenario where people have been massacred, they've been tortured, it usually starts like this with a camp that's far away from the lives of advocates and people that can help them. So that is the current situation right now, and that this is going to be challenged for sure. And the ACLU as well has already been demanding access to those who have been detained already at Guantanamo Bay. So as this unfolds, I'll definitely keep you updated. But there are valid concerns here. And the fact that the judge put a hold on sending these three Venezuelan immigrants to Guantanamo Bay, it might just be extended. So we have to see, just extended based on maybe additional challenges that may be coming through. In addition to this, 27 churches or houses of worship did sue the administration based on their policy that they could go into churches and get, places of worship to get documented rates. So I'll keep you updated on that information as well. When it comes on to relief, that is, amidst this chaos, that's where we need to focus on solutions, because there are these legal solutions that are there. We have been getting bona fide determination letters that offers our clients protection. So if our clients are going through deportation, it stops the deportation process. If our clients have never been through deportation, they are protected with the bona fide determination while their process is going through. And then there is also the work permit, the travel document, which I would say this: do not, just because you have a travel document, don't just get up and travel. Make sure you're getting the legal advice of your attorney. You understand the risks, because right now the risks are very high to travel outside of the United States with even a travel document. So you want to be aware of your risks. Now, in order to get these solutions that I'm talking about, these solutions that offer protections, it offers temporary protection, but then it leads to permanent solutions for you once you're approved. These benefits,
Beautiful life here on
you have to get
immigration.
if you
Thanks for
qualify for
listening.
certain immigration relief, right? So you'll see multiple times in multiple of my videos I talk about it, but it is something that I need to keep talking about, because this is where you need to focus on. You need to focus on solutions. Some people, when you think you're here, you've overstayed your visa, you don't have your immigration papers anymore, you think that's the end of the road. It's either marriage or nothing at all, and maybe you don't have the option to get married. But that's not true. We can then evaluate your case to see are there any other circumstances in your background that you may not even know about that qualifies you. For example, have you been the victim of a crime here? Have you been in a situation where you felt trapped because of the actions of somebody else who tried to force you to do things against your will? Whether it's to do sex, other option. You've been here for 1 year. Have you stayed because you are afraid to return to your home country because you know you're going to be attacked, you're going to be killed, something is going to happen, you're going to be targeted with violence. That can lead to asylum. But these are kinds of situations that we need to talk to you about first. Even in cases where you may be running out of status, right? Maybe you have your status, like you have your 2-year green card, but maybe it's come to the end of the road in your marriage, or your spouse left you or divorced you. Now you're trying to figure out how can you continue to maintain your status. That too has a solution, but we need to understand your circumstances to get your that. And that's why what we're doing now is we are doing free initial evaluations to be able to provide you ask questions to make sure that you can understand whether there is a possibility we can help you. So that this is a win-win situation. You can call, and no, you have to call during working hours, right now. You can call now. We have our call team that's available around the clock, and that would be best because what they can do is they're going to answer the call, and then they're going to make sure that they get your information so that our intake specialist can contact you and get the initial evaluation starting ASAP during office hours. This is not something you have to schedule right on the spot. Once our intake specialist call you, then we'll be able to do that evaluation for you, and then for your credit card payments never ending. National Debt Relief may be able to help. Their highly rated debt consolidation program could help you resolve your debt in as little as 24 to 48 months. Typically much faster than making minimum payments only. Start by filling out this simple online form. National Debt Relief came very highly recommended. Felt take care of. I felt like that they knew what they were doing. I felt they were very professional. National Debt Relief helped me, saved me so I can live my best life now. Once we determine, yes, looks like there is something that we may be able to do, then we want to talk to you in depth about strategy to move forward, right? And we're doing this to make sure we can get to as many people as possible so that you can at least call to figure out, is there a starting point for you? So get in touch with us. The number is going across the screen on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and then if you go comment section, you'll see my name, my number, call that number, and by the way, you can also send us DMs. Send us a DM, and we are also answering through our messaging system so that we can provide you attention. Take those avenues. It's very easy to get in touch with us. Get that done ASAP. Now that I have just talked to you about, I've given you a very quick rundown of solutions. Of course, if you follow me, subscribe, you get videos. I release many videos because the focus is to empower you with information. So I provide many videos throughout the day talking about different avenues, different ways to approach your immigration case. So this is all there for you to empower yourself. So make sure you're following, make sure you subscribe. And now on TikTok, as we approach the 90-day deadline, we may not be here again on TikTok. So what I would suggest you do from starting now, join our Instagram account, join our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is Getting the Green Card. You can go to YouTube, Getting the Green Card, all one word. and you'll be able to subscribe there, because then if I can't access the lives here, then you can always jump on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube to join me there. And I do longer videos, by the way. Even if you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, I do longer videos about different subject matter on YouTube. So if you want to see longer videos, really, I'm excited about the next few videos that are coming up, because we talk about types of ways to avoid getting denounced in your cases. So make sure on YouTube. So getting the green card. So thanks so much, everybody, for being here. And now I'm going to answer your questions. So thanks so much for your time. It's always great to see you and spend time with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on Instagram. And I'm going to work my way around. So keep putting your questions in the comments, and then I'm going to get to the platform. So TikTok, you'll see me looking this way.
I'm
I'm
listening
reading
to
questions out
immigration.
and
Okay,
answering
hope you
questions.
find
And
it
we all can
interesting.
benefit
And
from
welcome.
hearing questions as
Happy
well, and the
Valentine's.
answers to go with it. So let's see. Yeah, so in Nigeria, you want to come with your fiance, but it's crazy. Yes, it is. I'm trying, and I get that crazier. Can you elaborate on domestic flights right now? It's safe to travel until May 7th. So what's happening is, if you're here in May 7th, it means that they're going to have the Real ID Act. And the Real ID Act is going to require that if you're going to travel with your driver's license, it has to be a special driver's license. Usually it has to have like a star in the corner of it. Those who even have regular driver's license, regardless of your immigration status, will have to go back to the DMV to get a Real ID if they want to travel. However, not everyone is going to have the Real ID. If you don't have the Real ID and you do qualify to travel, there are no additional risks to travel if you use your passport. So, for example, if you're visiting the US, you have a visa, and you want to travel from state to state, you wouldn't have a Real ID driver's license. You have to use your passport and showing your visa to, travel. So that is what is coming up for this year, is the Real ID Act. So that's going to go into effect, where they're going to require. But if you don't have that, then you're going to have to use alternative identification, but it has to be acceptable. For example, like your passport. So you have to contact the airlines to make sure that you're meeting the requirements for identification. Now, if you don't have your papers here, you want to make sure that you understand the risk. The risk is heightened by 100 going on a plane, even if you're traveling within the United States. Now, if you have your work permit, you have a valid current work permit, that should not be a problem. But where the problem is going to be is if you're traveling with your passport and you also have like an expired visa, or you never had a visa to begin with, and you can't show that you have legal permission to be in the United States, that's going to be where the real risk is. You are using apple cider vinegar the wrong way. If your goal is to lose belly fat, you need to use it the right way. Guys, I discovered a way to turn apple. Tell me.
Garth, I'm listening to getting the green card. It's a lawyer who explaining the risk of traveling. So without your green card or your visa or whatever permission you need to travel. It's very interesting. So just listening. All right.
The 2-year expedited removal is now nationwide. Before, it was within 100 miles of the border. That if an immigrant who recently crossed the border, who has been in the country for less than 2 years, who's caught without legal status within 100 miles of the border, can be put through expedited removal. So this is where it's very important to carry around with proof that you've been in the country for more than 2 years in case you're stopped. If you don't have your papers, then that would be the next, the fallback. But keep in mind, this is very, we have to be very careful with this advice.
Doc, you need a
because,
visa? Boy,
you
Mr.
can carry
Trump
your
is
documents
fronting, you
around,
know.
but you really have to figure out when is the best time to present those and what you should say. The best policy is to exercise your right to remain silent. For example, you can provide your identifying documents, but do not answer questions about your status. At that point, if you're obligated to provide your identifying documents, you do that, but do not, you don't have to answer follow-up questions. You can remain silent until you can speak to your attorney. Always make sure you seek the advice of your attorney, and you do have a right to speak to your attorney. So the best policy is to remain silent until you can talk to your attorney about that, and then the attorney can tell you what to do from there. But there have been situations where when they have for example, clients have the receipt notice, they are able to then not be detained because they have proof of pending status. So it just depends. It depends on what your circumstances are, and my advice would change based on that. But this is where I say definitely make sure you save the number for an attorney or save the number for an organization that has attorneys, like pro bono attorneys, if you can't afford one, that you can call and get help or advice. Thank you. Can someone with HND apply for HB2? I'm not sure what HND is. You have to expand on that HND. It's a little late, so my brain might be moving a little slower. Hello. With Real ID process starting May 7th, will TSA be asking someone with foreign passport for valid visa to be in that passport? Yes, it's possible. It's possible now. Even now, they will start to do that because enforcement is expanded everywhere. So you can be anywhere in this country. You can be at the airport, and they can then refer you for expedited removal. So, one thing that's happening is that, President Trump, which Holman is spearheading this mass deportation operation, they're not happy right now with how few arrests there have been. They want more. They want more arrests. And right now, there's a shakeup at the ICE. At ICE, where they've removed 2 top officials, they're replacing them because they didn't meet the quota. So that goes to show how much more aggressive they just the beginning. So they're not slowing down, and they have removed these 2 of top officials in ICE because it was slowing down, and they don't want the detainments the arrests to slow down. So they're going to make it possible to detain and look out for immigrants who don't have their papers any and everywhere, and the airport will provide easy pickings for that. Okay, so this is a good question. Somebody did say, why, I guess in response to why are they sending them to Guam? Why can't they send them back to their countries? Well, that's because I'm not the attorney involved in their cases, but it's very likely that these migrants want to go through the due process to get protection. And if they can't just put them on a plane and send them back without a removal order. So they have to go before a judge. They have to state their case before the judge, and then the judge can make a final decision. And so they're sending them to Guantanamo Bay to go through this process. But that's the concern. If they're sending them to Guantanamo Bay, are they being given the opportunity to go through the due process and the court proceedings to state their case as to why they need to stay in the United States?
Right now, your donation will be doubled by Purina to make twice the life-saving impact. We're counting on you to help hundreds of homeless and abused animals. The conditions these neglected animals are found in are heartbreaking, but the Atlantic Humane Society is there for them only with your support. They rescue them, provide them with medical care, and find them loving homes. But without your gift, their story could be...
How long does EAD do the bona fide letter approval? So that is still going. I am anticipating 3 to 6 months after with a bona fide letter. So 3 to 6 months is when the processing of the I-765 alone can take place. So we haven't been seeing a lot of the work permits coming, just the bona fides, and now they're going to process the work permit applications. So I'm anticipating it probably being another 3 to 6 months. And keep in mind too, we could possibly see a change there. It hasn't been announced yet, but we could see changes coming. And of course, we'll know the date that it's going to happen. Hello, can you get your Social Security with a prima facie letter? No. IR1 spouse, U.S. citizen. I applied I-130 USCIS. My PD priority date is 28 December 2023, when I will expect an approval. So it can take 9 months or 12 months to be approved. So, and then keep in mind that yours might be taking us longer, because I think a year has already gone by. So it might take us longer, but in my experience, it's usually 9 to 12 months. Hi there, Mika. Thank you so much. Blessed night to you too. All right. Okay, so I'm on YouTube now, and I'm gonna head over to TikTok. So hang tight. Good evening. Please, EAD is still coming with 5 years validity or less. Yes, so they would announce when that's going to change. Can someone eligible for T visa if the employer doesn't give the SSN? So I believe you've asked this. Get in touch with us and let's find out your circumstances. What does it mean when your status says case is actively being reviewed by USCIS? Don't hold your breath, but it means at this point they don't just in line to be reviewed. So officers actually reading your case. It might mean that your case is maybe at the bottom of a stack, close to their desk, but you can see this case is actively reviewed, being reviewed by USCIS. You might see this for a year.
Welcome, beautiful life.
You know, before you see any
Listening
movement.
to immigration.
The day I did the same day. Tell me something about it. So I'm not sure what you're saying. Prima facie doesn't come on the same day you file the VAWA case. I don't know if I'm misunderstanding. But the prima facie also provides you a certain amount of protection, temporary protection, and it gives you the ability to seek certain benefits and assistance while you wait that won't be held against you. Any hope for overstayed more than 20 years? Yes, there is hope, but you need to contact us. That's where you definitely need to contact us, and we can find out in those 20 years, what have you been through, to see if there's any relief available for you. I would be happy if you could tell me something about VAWA. So if you've been mistreated by a U.S. citizen, spouse, or a permanent resident spouse, a parent, and you're under 21 or under 25 in some circumstances, or you've been mistreated by a U.S. citizen, son or daughter who's age 21 or older, then you may qualify for VAWA. And the VAWA gets you your work permit, it gets you your travel document, and you're able to get those in about 6 to 12 months. And then it leads to the green card after it's approved. So it is a very, very valuable form of relief in a case of mistreatment by certain U.S. citizens or resident citizens and relatives. How long after bona fide approval do they approve the work permit? Now, keep in mind that the bona fide approval provides protection. So once you have that, you know that you have a certain level of protection while your case moves forward. The work permit gets processed afterwards, and so I think the estimated time I would say is 3 to 6 months, give or take. However, it wouldn't make sense for it to go much longer because the entire processing time for the T visa is about 18 months now. So it's gotten a little longer. I'm noticing processing times are getting a little longer, which unfortunately we are going to see that, by the way. We're going to see longer processing times. I'm sure of it. That we saw the last time. So be ready for that. T visa sent on August 28th and haven't gotten a bona fide determination letter. Should I be concerned? So we are seeing them in 70 to 90 days. I don't know what your case is, and it could be anything. So what we have been finding is they are prioritizing, which yours would be prioritized because yours was sent on August 28th. They're prioritizing those applications that were filed on or after August 28th, and then they're only issuing bona fides if they issue a request for evidence for anybody who filed before. But if they see anybody that was filed before, they just are working to make a final decision. But if they need more information, then they issue a bona fide while you wait. So that's the rule right now. Here's a good tackle here. Why are illegal immigrants resources? Absolutely not. It is a lie. Immigrants are not allowed, undocumented immigrants are not allowed to get. For example, my clients have been through the worst of the worst as victims here. And even my clients, when they need resources, they have to get those resources from charitable organizations that get grants to run. They do not get food stamps. They don't get any of those benefits. So that's a lie. Don't believe it. It's just one of the propaganda, the forms of propaganda to drive this hate against immigrants. So that is not the case. Most immigrants, vast majority of immigrants, will not qualify for undocumented for benefits here. I have questions of a green card holder gets stationed overseas in Germany with military spouse. What do they need to do to re-enter the States? Would it be fine to re-enter with military orders? So I would have to just make sure to see if there are different rules for military spouses or military members. If you have your green card though, and you got the permission, you were stationed on a military base, then I believe that's an exception. But that is really something that we would have to talk to you personally about. If you do have to go overseas and you're not assigned to a military base, there's what's called a re-entry permit that you have to apply for before you leave the country. But living on a military base with your spouse may be an exception to the rule here. Another question, when you get your work permit and have a pending marriage-based green card, do you have to get a job within a time frame? No, absolutely not. The work permit, there's nothing that says you have to. You don't have to work. If your spouse is taking care of you, both of you are comfortable like that, you don't even have to work. So the work permit can be there. You can use it for identification. You can use it as proof that you have been given temporary authorization to be here. So those are added benefits. You don't need to find a job. Can a brother file for a sister that overstayed her visa? Can she stay in the country until it's time to go home to the embassy? So it's not going to work so smoothly. And this is why this is a bad option, especially if you're trying to look at options to fix the situation now. The reason for that is it takes 14 years for a sibling to file for a sibling at minimum. And even then, you have to get a special waiver after the 14 years to give you permission to leave to go to your interview and not have the overstay held against you. But to qualify for that waiver, your immigrant sister would have to have a U.S. citizen or permanent resident spouse or parent who will experience extreme hardship if they had to leave. So as you can see, it's definitely not going to be a quick solution, the solutions that we're looking at right now, right? So your sister is definitely better off contacting us and doing an initial evaluation to determine whether there's something else that can be done. Months if you had to apply last year, no. So it's 6 months is one of the rarities. I would say it's more. Well, not rarity, because I did get one of my marriage-based cases in 4 months, but I would say right now the trend is about 10 to 12 months. We might get longer because during the last Trump administration, that's exactly what happened is they mandated interviews. So they required interviews for every case before they would approve it. And because of that, it extended the processing time to about a year and a half. All right, TikTok, I'm seeing a ton of questions flowing in. How long is the process for the work permit? It can range. It depends on the case that under which you're applying for the work permit. It can range from 6 months to 12 months. I'd say 3 months to 6 months for marriage-based, employment-based cases, but also 6 months to 12 months for VAWA cases, 18 months for a T visa, a year and a half for the U visa, exactly 6 months for the asylum.
Can you imagine doing this?
Would you like to receive a discount or price?
Full price.
Kind of ridiculous, right? Well, so is not taking advantage of an AARP membership, because AARP has a ridiculous offer. Just $15 the first year with automatic renewal, plus a second membership free.
That is ridiculous.
So take advantage of hundreds of programs, services, and discounts from AARP, like financial tools, job resources, and the Fraud Watch Network that helps you spot and avoid scams. Plus, discounts on gas, cell phone plans, and streaming services. And know this, your membership matters, as AARP advocates on important issues like healthcare, Social Security, and age discrimination in the workplace. And that offer gets more ridiculous. Get AARP for just $15 the first year with automatic renewal and a second membership free. Plus, a full year of the award-winning AARP The Magazine.
Ever since Kimora was a little girl, she had her sights set on the sky, and Spectrum Internet brought the sky to her fingertips. As Kimora grew, her dreams grew with her, evolving and elevating with unlimited connectivity.